Hey guys, this is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching. I wanted to do a quick review of the White Zones today. Um, Really, there was a lot of opportunity in both ES, which is the S&P 500 index, the NASDAQ 100, the 30-year note, and in CL, which is crude oil. And so I'm going to go over those real quick. I've already done an in-depth homework and coaching session trade review that I've posted to members, which I do almost daily. Right, and that's already been posted for members, so this is for the general public. Before we get started, wanted to just do the quick disclaimer, which basically says that this is webinars for educational purposes only. It's not a recommendation to buy or sell any particular financial instrument. Equities, futures, options, and currency trading have large potential rewards, but also large potential risks. Be aware of the risks, be willing to accept them. Don't trade money you can't afford to lose. Please don't do that. The website is neither a solicitation nor an offer to buy or sell equities, futures, or options. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those discussed in this channel. Past performance of any trading system is not indicative of future results. Absolutely consult your registered financial advisor and your risk trading plan before trading any financial instrument. I think I got that covered. Okay, let's roll. So, cool. So remember, the idea behind the White Zones is this. For someone who's a newer trader or a trader with less experience, right? The idea is that the first push into a White Zone, the first test, really during each session, meaning once during the European session, once during the US session, the first touch should give a tradable rotation, right? If you're a more advanced trader, the second and third pushes in can provide trading opportunities, but the goal is to focus on the first and to give you a very specific area to look. And the idea is very basic. If we push in from underneath, I expect rejection. If we push in from above, I expect to push down. And again, the first touch. So let's start with ES and we'll just work our way through each one. So if you look during the RTH, which is the regular trading hours, we opened up underneath the White Zone, right? Pushed up into the White Zone, right? And if you took your look for responsive sellers at 24.22, you were able to garner 2 points or more. Up to 3 points was available depending on where you shorted it. But if you shorted, my assumption is here for this purpose is that you shorted the front of the zone and that it rejected down. That was able to garner you 2 points. This is the second time in. You can still see that the zone was still doing its job. It was holding the market back, but it finally worked through. But look, here's the interesting thing. Look where it works its way through, right? Works its way through, and then we pop right up. Again, if you're a newer trader, the focus is on the front of the zone. You get rejection out of the front of the zone for almost 2 points, right? And then the market carries on. In our actual high odds location, there was a volume point of control back here. And you can see if you shorted the zone the second time, it took hours to make it work. But it finally rolled you down all the way to 24.24. Again, demonstrating the power of the location of those White Zones. Again, the trade location gives you the edge. The idea is it gives you a place to start and then advance your thinking from there and your understanding of markets so you can get better and better. The other thing I want to show you here real quick is if we look at the overnight session, and again, the idea is for me to keep this as short as possible, but I want to show you the overnight session here. So the zone, let me make sure I got it right, as posted, was 27.25 to 30. Okay, so if you come in and look in the overnight session, $27.25 to 30. Just above here. Here we go. Okay, and you will see, that's ES.D. That did not help very much. It never looks cool when you're trying to be cool and calm and collected and you get it wrong, right? So let's go back over here. Here's 30. Just behind here, we didn't quite get to 30. Here's the 27.25, right? You see we pushed right in. Here's, just to give you a way to judge this, this is London Open right here. You can see that we pushed into the zone in Asia, pushed below. So I want to track this for you, right? So if you go through, this is Asia, pushed up, pushed just below, pushed back in, came back, came into the White Zone below. We finally pushed all the way down, testing Lubbock slow, and then pushed all the way back up, where we rejected again out of the same white zone. So again, really powerful trade location. And again, the focus is on the first time in each session, right? So this would be the first time in the London session. This would have been the first time in the US session. And each of those provided quite a profitable opportunity. So now let's go look at NQ really quick. And then we'll jump to CL. And really the star of the day was CL and the 30-year note. Here is NQ. Let's see if we can find it. Why don't I have NQ? Let's go get that really quick. I bet it's on my other chart, and it is. Hold on one second here. You know, this recording device is nice, but it blocks. So frustrating. There we go. So here's NQ. There we are. So again, these were published on Saturday, right? So you'll notice on NQ is a little trickier, and I actually took a stop on NQ today. So here was my trade plan, and again, they're not always perfect, right? Or it's not always perfect. You can see that we opened up in and just above. So this is where we opened right here. We opened in and just above, and we pushed down off the open first time in, and then rejected out. My thought process was that we would backside test into the zone one more time and then push back out and push for last week's highs. That was my target for the day. And this was Globex high right here. I certainly thought we'd make it to Globex high, but I really thought we would test this area, which is rejected out 2 times already. And basically, I figured the first 5-minute low would hold. I made a trading error. I didn't account for the open gap, and I actually ended up getting stopped on this NQ trade. And that happens. Again, part of the idea is that you're transparent in what you're doing. I did get stopped on the NQ trade today. Not a big deal. And the reason why that's not a big deal, let me step back and talk about that for a second. Because this backside test here, this is a trade I would take 100 times. That white zone is key. It usually develops in a push back to the upside, and I'm going to attribute that to kind of Monday morning shakes, and it just got a little loosey-goosey. Usually if we don't fill the gap on the first attempt and we miss just by an inch, you're usually going to get a pretty strong push away from that. We didn't get that today. Not a big deal. The whole point of the stop is not something that you should fear, it's something that you should welcome. Why? It keeps you from blowing up your account, right? It keeps you from psychologically melting down, and it keeps you very well balanced. So, took a stop here, was not able to take the push to the upside, but if you look at my risk reward, I ended up risking 10 points, $200 a contract here. I got stopped, but my potential reward, which again is focused over a series of 10, 20, 30, 100 trades, assuming this would have held, I had a potential 40-point upside, right? And I will take that each and every time. 10 down, 40 potential up. I am all over that, and I would do it again today. Obviously, if I can help myself, I would move my stop back a little bit to survive this, but I know my stats say that 10 points usually keep me in my NQ trades, and I would continue to take that trade over and over again, and that's how that works. So that's really, we had the right call. We had the right look for NQ. We thought buyers were over in overall control. The white zone was placed in the right condition. And you might ask about these other zones. So the yellow zones are just underneath the white zone in terms of importance, but they're just not as high in odds as white zones. And I try to keep my newer traders focused on the white zones because I know that's where they can snatch a consistent P&L and be able to learn and observe the market, but in a relaxed way. So let's now go over and take a look at the 30-year note, and then we will finish up with crude oil. Let's see, I think I got it right here. Here are the levels. I have crude up, but we will just flip it over to the 30-year note. So here's the 30-year note. We were balanced on the 30-year note. It's in an overall downtrend. Again, just to give you some time reference here, so you can see where we're at. Let me move this down just a hair. There we go. So this is pit open, 7:20 a.m. Okay, and on the 30-year note, of course, you would expect in the European session it's a little bit sloppier. This is where we opened in Asia. We basically balanced through the white zone. You can see we actually consistently rejected out of this white zone. And then as we started to come, we finally opened. They tried to push down, failed, right? But you'll see these multiple attempts. I want to drag this in a little bit so you can actually see. We opened in the white zone and it rejected right out of the white zone. Then we begin to push up. We get stretched into 152, 230 seconds, up into 152, 530 seconds. Hang up here for a good couple of hours, right? But then you'll notice right when we get to the US pit session, right? Flush. And this is not a big stop, by the way, guys. This is essentially 7 to 8 ticks keeps you in this trade in exchange for almost from a move from the back of the zone, right? From 530 seconds all the way down to eventually 2330 seconds. That's 7, 8, 13 ticks times $33 a contract. It's a good chunk of change here. But then even more importantly, notice, even under the sell pressure, we get back to this 151 and 2730 seconds white zone again, and we rotate back up right back to 152 and 230 seconds where we reject and come back right back down to that 151, 2730 seconds. Again, in order to build your confidence, there's other ways to trade the bond. This certainly isn't the only way. There's other ways to trade oil, and all of these, there's a million different ways to slice it. My goal is to help first give people a way where they can focus on a particular area in the chart and have confidence that they have good odds of having the trade work in their favor, and then help them build their confidence to move into more advanced trades as they get better and they build their P&L, right? And then lastly, let's cover CL for the day. CL was also pretty much spot on today. So you'll see in the European session, we open up, early Asia, open up, backside test into the 4440 zone, right? Rotate all the way back up from 4440 past 4460, 20 ticks. That's over $200 a contract, right? This is the London Open right here, and you can see right before London Open, remember the focus is on the first test from the contra move, right? So this is test 1. This is test 2, right? Test 2 holds, and it actually comes out for a profitable trade, but after it sits here for an extended period of time, we finally break. This is an important concept, right? Because we roll down. Now this would be my target down here in terms of wanting to get long. We never get in to this zone. This is what I'd be targeting to look for a long, right? But then you'll notice in the US session opens right here at 8 a.m., right? We push up, and you'll notice, look at the detail in terms of how close this trade comes. I mean, to the tick to 4420, right? Rotates down for about 10 ticks. That's about $100 a contract. Then we push into the mid, almost all the way to the back. And understand that if you took the 4420 or if you took the mid to the back, which would have been 4430, which several members in the room did, right? And then it rotated all the way down. This rotates almost to 44. From 4420, your maximum P&L would have been about $150 a contract. But from 4430, which is where a lot of the members were targeting, the 4430 area, right, with a stop just behind this location, that actually targeted up to 25 ticks or $250 a contract. Again, trade location was very, very valuable in being able to trade CL accurately. And then you can also see when we finally came back and tagged right into the top of the 4440, notice that here in early Asia, which is 513 right now, and you'll notice in early Asia, we have pushed up and we are testing 4460, right? So again, that's another 20 ticks to the upside. Trade location is so valuable. So at any rate, if you would like to get an edge in your trading, if you'd like to come see what it's like to trade with a professional trader, send me an email, tradeandperform@gmail.com. Here, I'll type it out so you can see it. tradeandperform@gmail.com. I'll blow that up so you can see it. There you go. I want you to be able to see that. tradeandperform@gmail.com. You're welcome to a 5-day free trial. It's $95 a month. And right now, in that $95 a month, it's a live mentoring room open through the day. It's ES, NQ, CL, and a 30-year note. I'm pretty sure it's the best deal going out there. I also do one-on-one coaching, but I'm totally booked in that area. So at any rate, long story short, if you want to find accurate locations to pin on your trades, right, and you want to develop a methodology and a process to stay consistent, which is very, very important, right? Without a process, without a way of consistently looking at the market in a particular way where you can repeat your actions and repeatedly take money out of the market without going through boom bust cycles, right? That's the objective of the room, right? It's to end that boom bust cycle and get you consistent. The way we do that, accuracy in the chart, following process, mental preparation, and consistency. Anyways, my name is Simon. Have a great night. I ran over. I'll talk to everyone tomorrow. Hope everyone made lots of money. Have a good night.